it wasn't until COVID hit that I actually had time. And so I was able to pull myself out of that hole and go, okay, here we go. It's been 5 years. I'm doing really cool stuff. This is great, but I could lose it like that if I don't really continue to try. And I could lose my family like that if I don't continue to try and get better and learn and grow from that. And so, like I said, my cliff wasn't just one. It was several.
Yeah.
And until now, where I feel like I've climbed back up that cliff and I'm climbing this next mountain.
In today's episode of Rise, Grind, Repeat, we talked to Kane, who's a professional voiceover actor. Talk about the struggles that he's faced and how he overcame them to become a professional in his industry. Let's dive right in. Kane, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks
and joining on another episode of Rise, Grind, Repeat. I'm pumped for this because it's we talk to a lot of people that are business owners doing their thing. There's a lot of people that are doing SEO. Yeah. Don't meet too many people that are talented when it comes to voiceovers, voice talent. And so I'm sure you guys listening can already hear it.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, how you doing?
I love it. But before we get into kind of what you're doing and what the future looks like, would love to hear more of your backstory. How did you find out that you had this talent when it comes to voiceover? And what's your story?
My story? Well, I'm from here, Chandler, Arizona. Born and raised at Chandler Regional Hospital. I went to Corona del Sol, go Aztecs. And I got into voiceover, honestly, on accident, but backtracking a little bit more. I was in choir and musical theater growing up. Okay. So I was a big vocal kid. And so getting into my teens and doing more of the musical stuff and dancing and, of course, being in choir, I learned how to train and use my voice. But it wasn't until after graduating and I was going to go to a school in Hollywood called American Musical and Dramatic Academy, that I decided that I wanted to really, really be involved in the Hollywood scene and be involved in that type of industry. So anyways, fast forward again, I got into voiceover by really hitting the pavement, literally grinding hard on what I wanted. I learned that I wanted to do voiceover, honestly, based off my grandma. I didn't know what it was until she told me about it. And she specifically said that I could work in my pajamas and ride in a limo to studios. So I was sold. I was like, yeah, okay. I'm already here in Hollywood. I might as well find something cool to do because being on camera is really difficult. So I started in voiceover by my tattoo artist, Danny Rockman. She was tattooing my then agent, Alyssa Gentile, and she had said, hey, what do you do for a living? Danny asked her, and she was like, oh, I work in voiceover. I'm an assistant. She's like, oh, I have this guy that you need to listen to on YouTube. So at the time, I had a YouTube video. It was like 2012. Okay. I had a YouTube video up of me doing a movie trailer for Hotel Transylvania.
That's
so
cool.
It wasn't anything that I actually booked. I just did it for fun, but it got me in the door with my agent. So they heard the video. They called me in for a couple of meetings, and I got signed. So I've been signed into voiceover for 8 years now. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's awesome. So as this was happening, I mean, it sounds like you're on YouTube. You were you weren't getting booked for stuff, but you were doing examples and whatnot. Yes. So what does that process of grinding look like for a voiceover talent? 'Cause I mean, podcast is Rise, Grind, Repeat. Yeah. We're all about that life. And what does that look like for you?
Oh man, for a voiceover actor, it's all at home and in the one spot you work in, like it's your closet or your desk. It's all at home and it's all done with you. So it does. You'd think it maybe have to do all these different things, with the marketing and reaching out and that kind of stuff when you do. But as far as like actually learning and understanding your voice, that is huge when it comes to voiceover. So everything else had to trickle down afterwards, getting to meet more people, marketing myself, that kind of stuff. I had to learn how to use my voice and learn how to understand it and learn how to hear it. That's one thing most people aren't used to is hearing your voice. It sounds different than when you hear it than when somebody else hears it. So getting used to that, and then also mic etiquette. And so having to practice on a daily basis. So initially when I started out, I went and bought equipment the same day I got signed at Guitar Center.
That's awesome.
Got a computer, got a microphone interface, everything, set it all up, had my first audition for American Express, and it was terrible. It sounded awful because I had no idea what I was doing. So the process of becoming a better voiceover actor has taken place over the past 8 years. I've always tell people, I've been signed for now almost 8 years, but I've only really been booking for the past 3. So the first 5 years were really just grinding it out with paper in my hand, reading through scripts, understanding specs, understanding character development, and how to persuade and teach and tell a story with just your voice in a microphone.
And what are some tips for that? I mean, it's amazing because I never once even thought the differences in voice, what it could do for the feeling of the piece of creative or whatever it may be. I mean, down to even music can do that. So, I mean, what are the biggest things that you learned on how to control that?
Well, breathing. So learning different breathing techniques, using your ears, because you're your own director. That's the hardest part, I think, when you're doing auditions or you're doing sessions, especially when you're at home alone. You're your own director. So you're having to understand how to separate yourself at times from you in the moment being that character or whatever you're doing for commercials, whatever it is, to also having to be the director to say yay or nay on one thing or another. So, I mean, like I said, with breathing and having to learn how to be your own director, understanding your voice, mic etiquette, your surroundings, understanding a script, there's so many intricate pieces that go into being a voice actor. That most people don't really understand. I think we kind of understand it more with on-camera actors. We're able to see it more. We're able to follow them on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is and get the behind the scenes. But with voiceover, you don't really know or see that. Most people I talk to don't even know what voiceover is. And I go, oh, it's, when you hear a voice on the radio, the commercials and that's like, oh, that's cool. Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, you do that. I'm like, yeah, I do. You. Okay, that's cool. So, but there's little intricate steps that matter. And also, once you get to understanding each of those things, it's also about continuing that understanding, gathering that education for yourself and practicing. Because you can fall on the wayside. LA and the Hollywood scene and the industry itself is ever changing. So having to understand where that wave is going, which direction, which vocally they're looking for. I know, like commercials, for example. Commercials used to be really, I don't want to say like robotic, but they were pretty, you knew it was a commercial that was on because the voice telling you sounded like this. The inflection went up and also went down. And now it's your guy next door. It's your usual, like just homie that you're chilling with. And it's usually what they say in the specs. It's conversational, it's relaxed. It's chill. And that's what you usually hear when you hear commercials. But that wave is always changing. So understanding things like that is huge to actually being a genuinely bookable and workable voice actor, which I'm happy and proud to say that I am.
That's awesome. I mean, no, we've had to reschedule this because you got booked up by...
Yeah, it was cool, man. It's cool. It's fun. I do a lot of video games as well. And that's been like the staple of my career has been video games.
Really?
It's been really, really fun. I didn't mean to really get into it. And I just, once again, kind of stepped into it and just went with it. So
and how did that happen? Because I think anyone that most people would love to be part of the whole video game process, whether it's developing it, whatever it may be. I mean, how did that fall into your lap, and how have you kind of excelled at that little niche?
Man, honestly, it took the years leading up. So I didn't book my first video game until 2017.
Okay.
My first big video game was Injustice 2, the DC fighting game.
Yeah.
And I was the voice of Black Manta and Black Lightning. And that was the coolest opportunity that I could ever have gotten.
I bet.
Because I got to be on Warner Brothers' lot and in their studios recording for one of their biggest games. But how I got it was, of course, the practicing leading up to all that point, but having an agent and also having demo reels. That's something that most people don't really realize as well with voiceover, the intricate steps. So all that practicing then led me to creating demo reels. Those demo reels are able to help me acquire an agent, which I was able to acquire. Once I have the agent, they help me, we work together to get the word out about who I am and what I can do. But having a demo reel and having an agent was how I got to that point, because that's how I got the audition. But once I got into the studio, and once you're able to immerse yourself into these characters, that's where all of the fun comes in, because you get to be somebody else, completely different than you. So the first day I did the voice of Black Manta. And I didn't know what to expect. I knew of Black Manta and Aquaman, and I thought it was really cool that I got to do it. But I went in nervous, a little shaky, and I had 4-hour session that I had to do and 300 plus lines and all these things I had to be ready for. But when I got to stand behind the microphone and just loosey-goosey a little bit, the director on the other side and the technicians, and I was able to just go, you know what? I want to have fun. I'm going to be Black Manta. So I'm gonna embody that character. I'm gonna be him.
Yeah.
So my voice sat somewhere right here, and then they had all the sound effects afterwards when I with the helmet on and everything. And then the next day after that, I did Black Lightning, and Black Lightning's voice was more my voice. And so I got to still be a little bit like myself, but I was able to just have fun. So with all these intricate pieces into getting the video games, the one biggest note is to go in and have a lot of fun, because it's video games. It is a lot of fun. So
that, I mean, as you're doing whatever it is that you love doing, you should be having fun doing. Otherwise, it's not fun. No, but that's not what you should be doing in your day to day. I mean, if you're really grinding all the time, it shouldn't be doing it for something that you don't really enjoy.
Exactly.
Outside of the video games, I mean, what are some other big titles or things that you've done?
I was the voice for Tilted Kilt, the restaurant. I did a handful of their commercials. I'm the voice of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So all the commercials you hear and see are all me.
That is cool.
All the commercials for the radio and TV stuff. I'm the Chandler tourism voice. I've done a lot of mini radio commercials here and there as well. So it's been cool.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
And so most of it sounds like a lot of the gigs you're getting are big studios and whatnot. Yeah. A lot of our audience is a lot of the small, medium-sized business owners and whatnot. They're getting more into the creative side. And when it comes to, we'll just throw a script together and get it read and it'll be good. But that obviously doesn't provide any good conversion volume. It's not the way to go about it. So if someone were to be thinking about a commercial or whatever it may be, what are some things that they should be thinking through that they can come to you for you to then do better so that the commercial is better?
Ooh, okay. That's a good question. Man, I have to say, understanding your audience, obviously, putting together a script and just trying to get it out there and record it. If you don't understand who your audience is, that point that you're trying to make, whatever you're trying to sell, that service you have, might not come across the way you hope it would. If you're just throwing it together. My recommendation is to read and watch many, many other commercials, read their scripts as well. Whether you're creating commercials or you're creating your own podcast or you're creating your own animated series at home, or you're doing whatever you want to do, short films, that kind of stuff, read other people's scripts and watch as many other things that are like what you want to make. Otherwise, putting something together willy-nilly really isn't going to get what you have sold. So I recommend reading, doing everything beforehand. I like to screenwrite as well myself. And so I like to write TV shows. I have a little mini series on Instagram called The Freddie and Reggie Show. It's a 2.5 minute long mini series that I have, and it's a lot of fun. And I voice both characters. But anyways, before writing everything down, before coming up and creating what I want to create, I look at the other outlets that I have. Everything we have is right in front of us on our phone, our tablets, on our laptops. So I say do massive amounts of research, even for the smallest of commercial for your small business, even here in Arizona. Do the research on what's around and what's out there, what's marketing well with certain audiences and what isn't, and to really, really understand your audience. But it's about those small steps. Like I said, even with voiceover, it's still intricate steps. Same thing with developing whatever it is you want to develop. And also, choosing the right voice. I do a lot of things here in Arizona, thankfully, because I've met a lot of people along the way. But not everybody can do voiceover. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to go on the record. Not everybody can just jump into it. It takes all those steps to do it. So finding the right voice for what you're looking for as well matters, because you can have a great script and you can have the best visuals and just, you put all your money and time and your effort into it. But man, does that voice sound like this when he's trying to sell your super cool service. And he would do it really cheap, though. So you got him. So I would say, take those small steps, take a step back and make sure what you're doing is what you really want to do when it comes to how you're selling yourself and your product.
And do you help companies with that at all? And they might be, this is the audience we want to reach. We don't know how we want it to sound. Here's a script. Do you help go through that? Or
actually, it doesn't really go in like a process where like I'm sitting down before. It's usually behind the mic when they're like, here's what we have, but feel free to ad lib if you'd like.
Gotcha.
And here's like the character or the structure we want, but feel free to enhance because you know what you're doing. And that's nice because then I feel like I'm able to embody what the brand is looking for, but then also be able to put my own fun spin on it and also be me in the mix of it all, which is huge. I mean, a lot of things that come across my laptop as well, sometimes they don't fit who I am. And so I don't read for everything. But I get to work with each company that I work with, honestly, and get to just put a good spin on it because I understand what I'd like to hear, even as an audience member. Because for these companies, I'm also going to be an audience member for you. So here's what I think as an audience member of how this sounds. You want something more serious and epic, but what if you went with something a little bit more lighthearted and relaxed? And so I'll give them different ABC takes and that kind of stuff. But I usually get to work with each company that I work with closely to help develop what they're looking for. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Saying it aloud, I feel pretty cool, actually.
Isn't it kind of cool to just explain it and kind of hear yourself?
I don't usually get to, so this is, it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And I mean, obviously, your grandma's a huge part of you getting into what you're doing now. Yes. How much is she still part of that process, or how proud is she of you, for getting to where you're at now? You're booking, you're getting paid to actually do what it is that she kind of recommended. Yeah. I mean, what does that look like now?
I mean, it's cool. She's still one of my biggest supporters. Every family member, a huge supporter, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be big and famous. I wanted to be like Will Smith, Chris Rock. I mean, there's a whole bunch. There's a list of dudes that I wanted to be just like ever since I was a little kid. So for me to still achieve my dream in the industry is huge. And so the fact that my family has always been behind me no matter what, man, is humbling, because not everybody has family members or friends or partners in life. Or I have 3 kids as well. Like a lot of people don't have that. There's so many people that don't have that support and that structure to help them move forward to achieve the dreams that they want to have, and no matter what it's in. And for myself, with going into entertainment, entertainment is a tough road.
It's very tough.
Very, very taxing on your mental, on your body, on your emotions. And so to have the support that I've always had and to still have it is huge. I know that recently, with everything going on in the world, my family and I have had some odds and ends with each other, but ultimately I still love them and they still love me, and we still support each other. But to have that is huge. At home, I have my partner, Joanna, and I have 3 kids. Ryan, my daughter, Easton, my middle son, and then Johnny's my little guy. And man, if I didn't have them either, I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now as well, because before having kids, before my life the way it is now, I was really lost. I was very confused, and I understood where I wanted to go, but I didn't have what I think I really needed to steer me in the right direction. And ultimately, it was that love from having a family, people that I want to support, and people that look up to me, little ones that look up to me and what I do, which is really cool in so many different aspects. From one aspect, for my kids playing the video games that their dad is in.
That would be cool.
That's a lot of fun. And then also me following my dreams and feeling confident in telling my kids they should definitely follow their dreams. They should absolutely do what they want to do in life. And I'll be right there every step of the way to help them with anything and everything they need to achieve said dream, because I had it. So I want that from my kids as well. So being able to do what I do it does pay bills. I'm happy to be making money off of my voice. I'm able to talk and make money. And that's an amazing thing. And I'm able to keep my family afloat as well. But just the fact that I had the dream that I had, and now it's reality. That's cool. And it took years. It takes time, but that's huge. So I'm grateful and humbled by the support that I have.
That's awesome. I mean, everything great. It takes time. Yeah. I mean, as you mentioned, just in the entertainment industry, I mean, it's not a 9 to 5. I mean, dime back stuff. It could be at night. I mean, it all over the place. You have 3 kids. How do you balance the time with them, time towards the career, building yourself up, time with, I mean, it all comes down to how you're allocating your time, but how do you go about that?
Man, prioritizing, which I'm not going to lie, I'm not the best person at. I'm not the best person at the perfect structure, or that I have this 10-step formula on how to. It's not that at all. Honestly, it's just about prioritizing what matters to me. Daily, I'm working on voiceovers. Daily, I'm working on writing. Daily, I'm reading. Daily, I'm in my studio. Daily, in my studio, working, grinding, meeting people, sending emails, reading scripts that I don't have to read, practicing behind my mic, changing everything that I'm doing, and daily putting the time in. But like you mentioned, I do have 3 kids. And so how do I balance the time between having a partner, my 3 kids, my career, anything I want to do on the side, friendships? I mean, there's a list. As an adult, it's as an adult, it's tough. But my daughter yesterday asked me if I liked being an adult. Actually, it was kind of random.
What was your answer?
My answer was that I loved it, but that it was a lot of responsibility. Yeah. Because of X, Y, and Z. I listed off all those different things. Having a partner, myself, my own mental health, my children's mental health, how they do their day, what they eat in their day, how they're dressing, did they read, what they're doing, where they are, all this list of other things on top of my career, on top of my partner, Joanna, on how she's feeling, how her mental health is. Am I being a good man in her life? Those are, the list and list and list. So how to balance that out is prioritizing what matters and what matters in the moment. Because life in the day is ever changing. It's just like Hollywood. Our normal lives are ever changing. So I plan the best that I can for my days, but I don't guarantee myself that I'm going to get every single thing I want to get done. But what I do make sure of is that I'm in my studio daily working, that I spend time with my kids, even if I'm sitting there playing Legos or playing video games. We're out hiking, which we've been doing a lot recently. Whatever it is, we're going out and playing ball, we're going swimming, no matter what it is, I spend time with my kids. And then with my partner, I make sure I spend time with her, even if it's a short amount of time that we get to talk about life, how our days were, what's going on, what our plans are, how do you feel? And then my own mental health. I get up in the morning, I meditate, I read, I drink plenty of water. I get my day started.
Just water,
baby. Just water. I get my day started nice and easy so that I can go into my day focused and ready. Because with kids and with an ever-changing world, I have to try my best to fit in where I can. And even with what I'm doing now with voiceovers, it's something that I have to keep up with. I sway on the wayside on accident and not focus on what I need to focus on and not book those jobs and not be in video games and not making money and not making my dream continue to come true. So prioritizing is huge, and the changing of the priorities as well, juggling that. It's difficult. It really is, but it's worth it.
So I'm going through it. Very similar right now. I have a little one on the way, a couple weeks away, and just how much time is going where, really auditing that. That's something that I'm working on. And it's just been questions I've been asking recently, because you're out grinding. It's easy to where it could be 99% of your time goes to that. And then everything else falls by the wayside. And now you don't have a family that is there and loving you because you're not there for them. But figuring out how to kind of manage that is, I feel like it's always going to be ever changing and having to figure it out. So do you actually beginning of the day, you have time chunks of where you want to spend it, where it's studio, family, and then whatever falls within those categories?
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I have a to-do list every day. Key things I need to get done, whether it's phone calls, it's appointments, studio things, emails, recordings, specific recordings, that kind of stuff that matters. But I try to allot certain chunks of the day, especially the morning. I'm not the best at getting up every single morning right on time, but 5 o'clock in the morning, up and moving and grooving, so I can get coffee made and get in the studio, get the lights on, get outside a little bit, get some fresh air on my face, and then try and get as much as I can done in the studio before kids are awake, and do what I can, whether it's recording the Freddie and Reggie show or it's getting all of my auditions done. And then same thing with my kids. At some point, I try to find a point in time where I can spend time with either each individual kid or all three at the same time, which is easier to do all three at the same time. But even if it's taking 30 minutes and sitting on the ground in the living room playing Legos with Johnny, or playing some video games with my middle son, Easton, or going outside and throwing Frisbee. He's great at throwing Frisbee. We're going outside and throw Frisbee. And then with my daughter, I've been getting her in the studio with me and practicing voiceovers as well. And so that's cool. If I can find little spaces of time, I try my best. But yes, it's about trying to find it and then making that time, because I have it. No matter what I have it, nothing really takes precedence over my family. So I'm going to have it and I make it regardless. So, my hands I keep putting them up here by the microphone. I know better than that.
I do it too whenever I'm talking, and it just
do my hands. Anyways, it's about making the time. I know I have it. And so for your journey, I would recommend, I'm not sure if you already write down things to get done, but writing down, spending time with kids. It's actually something I have to write down sometimes, where it's video games at this time if I mentioned a certain thing, or we're going swimming at 4 p.m. y'all. So at 4, you got me, okay? And making sure I have that down. I have an alarm set for myself so I know I'm done working or I'm done doing house things or whatever it is, and I attend to my time with my kids. So once again, prioritizing.
That's what it always comes down to. And when it comes to just voiceover in general, that's communicating. And I think communicating is at the key to pretty much getting things done. I mean, as a business, you got to communicate the values you bring, the problems that you solve. When it comes to talking with your children or your family, I mean, communicating is key.
It is.
I mean, is communication at the focal point of what you're trying to teach your kids? I mean, as they're growing up, knowing how important it is, just that single word or how the tone in which you say something, I mean, could change the entire feeling of the audience that's receiving that message. Is that something that you're proactively teaching them?
Absolutely. Like, absolutely. I think the nice thing about having the voiceover background is understanding, you mentioned the word inflection, and how I'm saying things, what I'm saying, which words I'm using. With that communication with my career, with my agents and stuff like that, totally different than when I go to my kids as well, when it's actively teaching them what I'm saying is what I mean, and vice versa. What you say is what you mean. And so choosing your words properly, the voice, my inflection of my voice, not to sound condescending or to sound rude or to come off angry or frustrated. Those things matter. I mean, kids pick up on these essential tones and these words. So, I mean, choosing everything you say and do wisely, the best that we can, because we're human. We're human. So we're going to have troubles and issues. And some days I just don't want to. And we're all there. We've all been there. So, but teaching my kids how to understand that, but how to communicate as well when they feel a certain way, whether it's good or it's bad. How to feel open with myself and their mom as well. I mean, being able to feel open enough to discuss whatever it is you need and want to discuss with us. It's huge. We are teaching our kids so young about that because as an adult, I've definitely seen myself be very closed off to a lot of people, friends and family, just because I felt like I was maybe in the way or that, you know, I'm bothering or whatever it is. Yeah. And so I wasn't open. And at key times that I needed to be, when there was something in life that was changing or happening that I needed help with or guidance or coaching, that I could have just turned to the people that loved me the most. And I didn't. And so with my kids, we actively teach them that on a regular basis to always feel open to communicate with us, because otherwise we don't know. That's another thing that my grandma would always teach us, that if you don't say anything, I don't know. So we are absolutely teaching our kids to communicate properly, which will trickle down to help them in their careers and with their friendships and their relationships and stuff like that. So it's huge. But yeah, with voiceover and communicating as well, I mean, that's what I do. That's what I'm communicating, whether I'm communicating a story or I'm communicating a product or communicating a character's point of view. Having the ability to understand that and then embodying that in my everyday life as well, the way I'm communicating with others, how I'm holding myself, the inflection of my voice, the words that I'm using, it all matters. It's something that I'm still learning daily because every day it's a battle of positivity versus negativity. It's a battle of understanding versus no misunderstanding. And so it's a daily battle to get through it. But I mean, I'm still growing myself to better my communication skills and to better the verbiage and words that I use in career and with family and everything else around. So that's really cool. I think there's a lot of adults that could take some of that be open, know how to communicate, because there's a lot of adults out there that struggle with it, and it's tough. It is. I'm a huge numbers guy. That's data and analytics that helps show whether the creative, who we're targeting, is working. Is there anything that you do to reflect to keep yourself accountable? I mean, if you're working on how you're communicating and all that, is there anything that you look at to, I'm doing better, I'm learning how to do this better, because maybe there's less back and forth during emails or during the onboarding time or whatever that may look like? Is there anything that you're doing, and what is that you're looking at to really audit whether you are bettering your communication skills? Honestly, it's going back and it's taking a step back and looking at everything in front of me that is, once again, prioritizing. So properly prioritizing and also properly understanding the communications tools that you have in front of you. That's something that I think everyone leans on one side or another as far as communication, whether it's, phone calls, text, emails, and whether you're speaking to friends, family, or coworkers, or studio execs or producers. Excuse me. Properly understanding the communication tools that you have in front of you is huge. So I try my best to grow with the world that's changing with the way we communicate, how we communicate, and prioritize in which the ways in which I communicate. So once again, like I'm going right back to the intricate steps.
Yep.
Writing everything down. I write everything down. I have a little spot under my desk in my studio where I have a stack of note cards, a stack of Post-its, and then a whole bunch of pens. So I write down pretty much everything. And so I can prioritize properly, not forget in the moment, miscommunicate or not communicate at all when it comes to a recording or to an audition or to a session that I need to chime into on Skype or with Source Connect or whatever it is. And that's your money. And that's your the way people view you. So being on top of it matters, but understanding the communication tools that you have in front of you and choosing what best works for you and your business is huge as well. So I would say definitely take the time to do the intricate steps. If writing things down helps, if you're already on your computer, using your notes, using your reminders if you have it, or whatever it is that can help you keep track of all of these things. Because every day for everybody is chaotic. Let's be real here. We're just adults.
It's only getting more chaotic.
We don't know what we're doing. We're just trying to get through the day. We're all faking it till we make it. And so if we can do things a little bit better, is just to keep track of the way we're communicating and how we communicate and the way in which the world is changing with communication. That'll change how you receive work and how you are able to get your brand out there or get your business out there, or even just be a good son or grandson. Yeah. So keep prioritizing, keeping track of everything. Like I said, if you can write down stuff, write down things. That's what I recommend. Huge if you can, because it definitely keeps me imbalanced. No, not imbalanced. It keeps me balanced. You got it. Okay, good. It keeps me balanced the best that I can throughout each day. But like I said, we're all adults just trying to fake it till we make it as well. So also don't be afraid to reach out to others, whether it's a mentor or someone else that's doing what you're doing. So if you open up a new business, say, I want to do my own little creative agency as well on the side in Chandler, and but I don't really understand exactly how to do it, I'll come to you guys. And I can feel free to open up and be able to communicate. Hey, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. It's okay to say that. It's all right to say these things because it's okay, because everyone was at a lower point at some point. So although you guys have an amazing agency here and the creativity that you have going on, at one point it wasn't where it is now. It started off as something smaller. Can
attest to that.
Totally. So it's all good to ask somebody when you're down here, hey, how do I get up here? Because then you can get the real life understanding from someone's point of view that's already been through it. So we shouldn't fear asking for help. We shouldn't fear reaching out for an understanding as to better my business, brand, field, or just as a person. We shouldn't be fearful of that whatsoever. So
mentorship has been a huge talking point or topic that's come up on previous episodes. I mean, do you currently have a mentor?
Yeah, I do. His name is Jason Spisak. He's a fellow voice actor. He's in Young Justice. He's Kid Flash. He's been in Warner Brothers. He got a new movie called Intersect. You can get it on Apple or Amazon or wherever you get movies. He got a new movie out as well. And but Jason Spisak, he lives here in Arizona, but he's a voice actor. He's been in the industry for years, and I met him, through my old agent, and he's been my mentor for a few years now. It's been huge. He is always a big reminder of that if I continue to work hard, I continue to stay focused, and even when things fall off a cliff, it's okay, because as long as I'm willing to climb back up, I'll get right back on track, if not even better. So kudos to Jason Spisak for being someone that's been a huge part of my voiceover journey, and still as a mentor today, that is always able to be relatable and help me understand my journey as well. So it's huge. Yeah, go Jason.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been in it for a while. I mean, they have a ton of wisdom. They have a ton of knowledge that you can siphon from, and you can learn it in a month or two rather than taking the 3, 4, 10 years it took for them to learn it. And so huge on mentorship as well. But you mentioned been there after you've fallen off one of the steepest cliffs and whatnot. What has been one of those steepest cliffs for you as you've been trying to hone in on your skills, prioritize time, just really building your business? What's been one of those biggest cliffs, and what have you learned from that?
Oh, man. Well, trying to be in the Hollywood entertainment industry is difficult when you're not in Hollywood. So honestly, going back to 2015, I moved back to Arizona from living in LA, and I was broke. And I had not a whole lot going on anymore. And so I moved back. I got a job over here at BJ's in Chandler at the brew house. And it's where actually I met my partner now, Joanna.
Okay.
But I moved back and lived with my parents so I can save some money. And then 6 months later, go back to LA and just hit it hard. But we actually got pregnant.
Okay.
And so that changed the whole game.
Yep.
Because I didn't know what to do. I was 22 years old and I didn't have kids. I didn't plan to have kids. I didn't understand what I needed to do next.
Mm-hmm.
And I also didn't reach out for help. And so, and I should have, because it would have helped me. But that would, it's not, I want to say it's a cliff for my career because I wanted to give up because I felt like I had failed myself in some sort of way, which was silly. At such a young age, I didn't really understand life and the world around me, to be honest. And so, 2015, that year changed my trajectory for my career. My plan was 6 months from now, I'm gonna go move back to LA and I'm just gonna go. Instead, I stayed here. I took on, of course, we had Easton. And then my daughter Ryan, she was already with Joanna as well. And so I took on the father role as well with her. We got a home here and we made it work and we created our own family. And so my focus was then my family, but on the side, I was still focused on voiceover. But my stepping down point was that I let my depression, anxiety, my frustrations and everything really, really get to me. Because I suddenly felt like I said, I failed myself. Like my dream is gone. Which was not the case. Actually, my dream only got better because of that. But I was so deep in the dump, so down on myself. And I had this ripple effect from that point on for, until maybe earlier this year, honestly.
Really?
That I was battling my depression, battling anxiety. I've been in a mental institution for a short time as well. And I had a couple of different mental breakdowns over the past 5 years that weren't pleasant, that only hurt myself and my family at times. I'm very grateful that we were able to learn and grow together through it all. Without my family, I would not have gotten through the things that I've gotten through. So I guess my cliff wasn't just then. I just kept pushing myself off a cliff. Every year I would find ways to just keep diving down into this hole. And it wasn't until earlier this year, once COVID actually hit, that we were at home all the time with each other together. Because leading up to COVID, I was serving tables as well or bartending. And so a lot of my days were at work, and then I'd come home and I'd also grind with VO. And then I go to work, and my time with my kids was very sparse and small and in between. And my daughter would be at school, and then I'd pick her up, and then 30 minutes later, I'm gone at work for all night. And then I'd come home and I sleep all morning. And so it wasn't until COVID hit that I actually had time. And so I was able to pull myself out of that hole and go, okay, here we go. It's been 5 years. I'm doing really cool stuff. This is great, but I could lose it like that if I don't really continue to try. And I could lose my family like that if I don't continue to try and get better and learn and grow from that. And so, like I said, my cliff wasn't just one. It was several. And until now, where I feel like I've climbed back up that cliff and I'm climbing this next mountain to achieve not only my goals in life, but to achieve becoming a better father, a better man, a better person in society, and all of the above. And so, in so many other ways. Overcoming the things that I've been able to overcome, and my family to be with me every step of the way, to grab my arms when I was down and lift me back up, to keep moving forward. Very grateful.
That's awesome. I mean, with the time opening up when COVID hit, I mean, it sounds like you couldn't go work in the restaurant. Did that open enough time to then really pursue the voiceover that much harder? And I mean, looking back, do you think that maybe there was some opportunity cost in terms of, I need this job because it puts food on the table now while I'm building the side hustle, or now it's kind of like the rug was pulled from under you, has forced you to put more time into this. And now that you put more time into it, it's off to the races.
Yeah, that's exactly it, actually. In the beginning, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, of course, everyone was kind of confused on what to expect with it. I thought it was 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, okay, well, let's take the vacation, I guess, and not worry about it. But when the time grew, and I realized the industry as well changed, it completely changed. And so I wasn't getting any auditions because no one was in studio. No one was recording anything. No one was filming. So I had nothing. So at one point, when it seemed to get really scary was when I didn't have the restaurant to go to anymore, which I always worked in restaurants. I don't have an education as far as like a degree for anything else. And then the one thing I was really good at also just stopped. So I didn't know what to do. But my mindset was, okay, well, obviously Hollywood's not going to disappear. Video games, commercials, everything's going to be back. So what can I do right now? Yep. And so I would work with my agents on, so what can I do now? They said, just read. Get your scripts that you already have from other auditions. Whenever you get something, of course, but practice. Continue to practice. Work out your lungs. Work out your vocal cords. Get better at understanding these different things. I'm like, all right, fine. So I had much more time to put into my career. Had much more time to put into my family, and much more time to put it into my mental health, which was a huge aspect of me understanding how to be better and to not have the fear of failure. Because that plagued me. I mean, when COVID hit, there was a lot of good, but there was that short time where I was so scared that I had once again failed and that there was no way I could pick us back up. There was no random gig that I can get, or that I met this guy. I'm gonna follow up so I can hopefully book and do their commercial, and maybe we'll get some money that way, and I can continue my career. And I didn't know what to do. And so I was down there, but having the time, to work on my career, be with my family, be with my partner, and in our relationship, and work on that. And then, of course, with my career, my partner, she changed my studio around 3 times in the past 8 months.
She's had more time.
Oh yeah, it's been great. And so she's actually been able to help me better my surroundings. Now my studio is set up for success, for me to be an actual full-time working voice actor, not only here in Arizona, but in LA. And so my mentor always tells me to remind myself that I'm a working voice actor in LA. I'm a working actor in LA. To not forget that. Whenever I'm down, just go, what, I've already achieved it. So I just got to keep it going. Yep. But COVID did open up that time for us. So I know that COVID was up and down, and there's mixed reviews for a lot of different people. Everyone had different things going on in their lives. But for my family and I, it actually was a blessing, only in the sense that we had time. Yep. Of course, everything else in the world around us was chaotic, and we had to adapt along with everyone else and our other family and friends. And here go my hands again in front of the mic. I'm saying,
getting into it, man. That's what it is.
But COVID did help us grow as a family. In my career, honestly, I can comfortably say that right now, where I'm at with my career, I can stay right here focused on my career. And my partner, she works over at Dutch Bros here in Arizona too, and which is really cool. And so we actually have a really good dynamic. My daughter started a new school. And so she's in person now doing school, and my son's gonna be right behind her. And the dynamic that we've been able to find with our family, we found it. And so it's humbled by that we have a really good dynamic, and that COVID and this time that's going on as we've been able to adapt to the change that's been going on. So.
Yep. No, COVID, it's not good. The negative impact that it's had, but I think there's a lot of positive that has happened, and it's forced people to, I think things were just too good. People got complacent, and it didn't have to innovate, didn't have to create. And I think that's what it caused is there's a quick disruption. Us as people, as humans, we're not going to let ourselves fail. So now we just got to think of different ways to make it happen. And some people make it, some people don't, but I've seen more and more people that were on the positive end of it where, it sucked for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it was, but I realized that time must go on. So I got to put dinner on the table and whatnot. And whether it's changing the business model, changing how I reach customers, and it just creates innovation, which I love. Yes, of course.
And especially for people that have a desire to be in the arts. I've seen a lot of my friends that took on the computer graphics and they decided to start doing what they wanted to do, that are creating art, that are musicians, and they're putting out their songs, or they're producing their songs, and they're talking about it, and they're happy about it. Or my actor friends, or my friend that is still doing short films because he wants to be a director. He's going to school for that industry. And so he's still pushing, but now he's been able to get himself up and do it. And that's really cool to see that people with these desires to be in the arts, it created an opportunity for everyone to go, okay, I guess I do have some extra time. I guess I do have an hour a day to put into what I want to do. Because before, like a lot of us, we weren't doing anything towards our dream. So to even put in that 1 hour a day or whatever it is, that little bit of time, changed the dynamic for a lot of people that I know, which is really cool. Because I would see all of my friends that are talented and that want to do something that want to start their business or that want to do a production company or that want to do X, Y, and Z, and they're doing it.
Yep.
And that's cool. And so I'm glad that it was a little wake up call for everybody to get going and create it and to make it happen. Because even if it doesn't, pay all your bills right now, I mean, keep going and absolutely you'll achieve exactly what you're looking for. So, man, I'm proud of a lot of people that I know that have taken those steps in the right direction, because it takes time, but it takes that leap of faith to actually get started on something.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people that are doing and chasing their dream now. It sounds like it's kind of happened to you after COVID, but now you're up, you're rocking and rolling now. You're getting more gigs. Yeah. What does the next 3 to 6 months look like for you? What are you working on? What are you trying to do to grow your business?
Well, I'm actually trying to look into smaller markets all across the U.S. So looking at markets in Colorado, like Seattle, Miami, New York, of course, Austin, Dallas. I mean, all over the spectrum, to look into getting representation in those markets so that I can have more options and opportunity come for voiceovers that way. Everyone's got commercials, whether it's radio or TV, even locally in their own states and in their own cities. And not everywhere has a professional voice actor. I think that's been what I've noticed being here in Arizona. I've been able to do so much work because I'm one of the only ones here in the state, which is really cool. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. And so I'm looking for that all across the U.S. I'm also working on breaking into promos, TV promos for different, episodic things, like coming up next, that kind of stuff. And coming up next on Nickelodeon, that kind of stuff. Anyways, doing all that kind of stuff with my voiceovers in that avenue. So getting the promo, going across the U.S., looking at small markets, and then I do have a little mini episodic things that I'm working on. One, I have a few episodes out on Instagram and on YouTube called The Freddie and Reggie Show. It's two seagulls that are friends that just have too much to say. And so I voice both characters. They just sit out on the beach and enjoy their day while they discuss whatever topic they got going on. That's cool. I have a new episode dropping later this week as well with a friend of mine, Cody. And so it'll be really cool to continue to work on that. And then I have another series that I'm working on that's another mini episodic series called Thunder Butt and Dilly. Once again, voicing both characters. And it's going to be about two weird and off-putting superheroes that try their best to take on the bad guys. But that's going to be great. Yeah. So it's really cool to have like little things that I get to do on the side as well to further my career. Even things like the Freddie and Reggie and the Thunderbutt, like these little things. It's great because it's content. It's showcasing my ability. That's different than waiting on the audition to come and the booking to come. I'm going to put out what I want. I really want to get booked on everything I audition for. Yeah. I don't, which is okay because that's how it goes. But man, creating my own stuff. If I don't want to keep waiting for something to come my way, I'm just going to create my own stuff instead. You have to, which has been a lot of fun. So those were my next steps in my whole voiceover journey. So the next 3 to 6 months, they look pretty good, and I like a lot of fun because every day I'm working on something brand new and ridiculous. So
I love it. I can't wait to see it. Well, I mean, we'll be reaching out because after you did the State 48 video, just very, very cinematic, but it got us thinking, I was like, man, why don't we do a sweet little, just literally almost like a movie trailer, but it serves as a commercial for the agency and kind of flex on a couple different things where the voiceover, there's a lot that we can do. So I think there's a lot in our pipeline that we want to get done. And I think it would be great to have you join. Because like you said, there's only one other voiceover person that I know in Arizona who I actually just got introduced to a couple weeks ago. Okay, cool. And so there just isn't a whole lot. I mean, we use, even hate to say it, but Fiverr to go on where it's only, $10. But to your point, it's very generic voiceover. It sounds better than all of us, but it gets the job done. But it's awesome to know that, you're here as a resource for
absolutely.
sure.
And I'm happy and I'm grateful for the opportunity. I didn't realize what I had in front of me with not understanding this isn't LA. So there's not 100,000 other people trying to go for the same thing.
Supply and demand.
Exactly. So, hey, I'm here now. And so anyone out there that needs a voice, I'm happy to be a part of whatever brand, service, anything you got going on, especially because if you're local as well, I would love to be able to be a part of the journey that everyone has, like with State 48, like with you guys, with Sandoval and everyone else that I get to work with, the James Agency as well. And it's really cool to be a part of local entities and watching them grow and build. And because I was born and raised here. So seeing Arizona transform the way it has and the small businesses that are still thriving and pushing even after COVID. it's so beautiful to get to see. So if in any way I get to be a part of that, whether I get to be a client or I am just an audience member or I'm buying and using your product or service, like I'm happy to be a part of that. I'm empowering other people like that. So yeah, I'm ready.
I'm all about it as well. I mean, I grew up in Yuma, so I'm an Arizona native, never lived anywhere else. And yeah, I'm all about the Arizona life. So.
Of course, man. It matters. I thought I was going to be an Arizona kid only until like I was 18. Then I was going to go find something else cool and move to the waves in LA and Hollywood. And I was going to be a Cali boy. But no, man, I'm always an Arizona dude at heart, man. Always. So I'm grateful for this opportunity that I got to even have today. Like this is cool. For anyone at home getting to watch it, all of this is really cool. really cool. So I'm grateful for this, really.
Yeah. And for any brand or company or anyone that needs to hire a voiceover, I mean, how can they reach you?
A couple of different ways. You can go to my Instagram. I'm big on Instagram, not so much Twitter or Facebook. So Instagram. You can go on my Instagram and on my link tree in my bio, you'll be able to click on my IMDb or my personal website. And you also have access to my phone number and my email. So text, call, email, submit on my website, whatever works easiest. Shoot me a message, slide into my DMs on IG. But there are many different ways you can get a hold of me. But I'm always happy and ready. And I have a home studio as well. So I can easily turn around work, which has been probably the best part of this journey recently, is that I've been able to get the work and return the work. So you can, I'll send it back, of course, with multiple takes, ABC, different styles, that kind of stuff. MP3, wave, whatever you want. And I have a lot of different outlets to make sure that I get that job done. So IG, text, email. I'm low key. I'm a normal dude. So just, hit me up.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Man. I look forward to working with you a bit more because like I said, we got a lot in the pipeline that I know we're going to reach out to you with. And appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, brother.